16.46, 16.46.
Stop number 6 of the Solo Pro Series Bass Tournament, presented by Godfather's Pizza. 4 locations: Battlefield, Springfield, Ozark, and Nixa. MS Propane with 6 locations. Don't be left out in the cold. Sage Electric, based out of Nixa, Missouri, and A+ accredited business, Best Automotive. Stay tuned and enjoy the action.
I think it's going to be a good day.
Tournament conditions presented by Motion Fishing Company and O'Reilly Auto Parts. 55 anglers battle Pomme De Terre Lake on August 30th, with lake level just at pool at 839, water temperatures hovering around the 80-degree mark. Day conditions were partly cloudy in the morning and sunshine in the afternoon.
Just now turning around good. It's been kind of slow, but man, they're starting to bite a little bit. Water's cooling down, nights are cooling down, so it's going to be fun.
Did you pre-fish at all?
I did last week, the week before, and I come down Friday. Yesterday I had mechanical issues, so I opted just to stay back at the room and work on stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be a fun time. The old white crappie's going to get a workout today.
Have you figured out any type of pattern? Because they seem like to be in a little funk.
Yeah, there's a bunch of, there's a couple different patterns going on. You know, the biggest thing is just covering water, but with the right bait. You know, I'm just throwing just a 2.5 square bill in white crappie and black crappie, and I'm living and dying. Now I might flip, you know, that little omega jig around a little bit here and there, but I'm pretty much covering water. You know, so I'm ready to go out and bust them.
I fished for like 2 hours yesterday.
Do any good?
Not really. I had one that was about 3 pounds, but that was it. I caught a bunch of short fish.
Do anything different today, or try to feed off that?
I got an idea what they're doing, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna work or not.
What are you gonna do?
Huh?
What are you gonna do?
I found some fish up really, really shallow, like right up on the bank. So I don't know. There's a lot of shad up there. And
yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but I'm gonna power fish all day.
Throwing.
What?
Jig?
You got it. That's the only thing I've caught a keeper on. Just no good ones though.
Black blue? That jig?
No, peanut butter and jelly. Just a small jig, fishing shallow. I couldn't find nothing deep. I don't know. I think they're catching them deep, but I couldn't.
Is that what you're gonna stick with most of the day, you think?
We'll see how it goes.
You don't got 40 rods on the deck like some of these other guys?
I got 4 laying there now, but there's gonna be 1 when I take off. That's all I'm throwing.
You're not on any pattern? You don't think they're in a pattern? You think they're just...
The only ones I found are just going tree to tree, flipping them trees up shallow. You hit the right one and they just freaking eat it.
You on channel banks or anything? Or can you figure that?
It don't matter. It seems like it's got to be like 3 foot of water or less. I can't get a bite of a keeper.
Well, you may not have a lot of wind today, because I know you like wind.
Well, I got to go back in the coves pretty far back to get to the stuff I'm fishing. So
is that where they're already back there? Do you think that's a fall deal?
I'm hoping the big ones are pulling back there, but I don't know.
What's the plan today?
Go get them, keep my line wet.
Yeah, are you on anything, catching them? Some here and there?
2 weeks ago I had about 14 pounds in a tournament. I won it, so if the pattern holds up, I should be hopefully in check line.
I don't think it's going to change much, is it?
I hope not.
Did you fish the last couple days? Or?
I did yesterday.
Doing good?
Now I had two little keepers, that's about it, nothing to brag about.
All right.
We'll see what the day does.
What are you going to catch them today on?
Oh man, I can't tell you my secrets. You already know.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right,
what about you?
Caught small ones yesterday, but hope it'll be a better day today. That's what we hope.
Anything in particular you're throwing, or you got 40 rods on the deck like everybody else?
A little bit of everything. We're gonna throw them till one figure out how to catch some.
All right. See you guys. Good luck.
All right,
Mr. AOI later. What's up?
Nothing, man. Just nervous, ready to go.
Did you pre-fish?
I did a little bit.
Did you?
It's pretty tough, but I think with a little luck we'll be okay.
Yeah.
So.
Are you on anything, any particular, shallow, deep?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, both. Got a lot of things going on, so a lot of decisions to be made today. That's the scary part. So
you kind of narrowed down what you're gonna do, or you?
I guess no is the answer to that. To be honest, nothing too great, but just a lot of different options. So we'll see what the weather does this morning and make our decision from there.
Oh, nothing. Ready to get going.
Have you pre-fished?
Yep. Practice went pretty good.
Are you on a pattern, or are they kind of in a weird scatter zone?
No, my pattern's pretty solid.
You running long ways? You kind of
a decent little bit. Fishing the way I like to, which is always nice.
That's good.
Yep.
Are you finding them around structure or anything in particular?
A little bit of everything.
What do you think is gonna take the win today?
Probably close to 17.
Well, have you been fishing?
Yeah, just a little bit.
And the secret?
Pretty darn tough.
Are they in just a transition phase, or is it just?
Yeah, I think they're just. You get out in about 12 or 13 foot of water, and you can see all kinds of fish, but they're not doing anything.
So you're graphing your fish?
No, I'm just burning a lot of water.
Did you you pre-fished?
Yeah, I fished Friday. Had a 3-pounder and 2 other keepers. Yeah, that took me all day to do that.
So you got to change up today, or you gonna?
No, I'm sticking with it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I got to tell you, I'm so happy to be here. I thought I wouldn't be here for sure. I mean, after not getting my boat out of the boat shop, and then I, a little frustrated, kind of posted a rant on Facebook, and thanks to Russ Burney, you know, our tournament director, he saw it, called me up and said, "Not using my boat, you want to borrow it?" Oh man, do I ever. Because I was kind of depressed over it, you know. I missed the last tournament because that boat was still out. And so I don't know, today, you know, I haven't been able to fish much.
Yeah.
So I've got it.
You're stick on this lake, so you kind of know, this is your stomping ground a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, every once in a while I do good, you know. Typically, you know, midsummer, there's a handful of guys, you know, usually take over, and I don't seem to fare real well. Other times of the year I seem to fare, but with the temperature changes and the water cooling down already, and I think I got a shot. You know, I'm not going to be one of them guys that's going to try to sit out there in 35 foot of water today and catch fish, because I don't think you can.
What do you typically try to find?
Shad. You know, shallow shad if I can. But a lot of times when you do that, all you find is small fish too. You got to be able to figure out, you know, even though you find that shallower shad, you know, figure out, okay, where's them bigger ones at? But sometimes they just don't work out. So.
Now, how do you catch them around? If you find shallow shad, like crankbaits, your normal?
Yeah, crankbaits, spinnerbaits, you know. Sometimes I'll just try to throw something through them that'll fall through them really fast. Sometimes I'll get a reaction strike out of that, and kind of work around the area with the jig too, you know, just, you know. It's kind of a mixed bag of tricks. Put it this way, there's 9 rods that are in the boat, and they're all fixed for just whatever might happen, because I really, this time of year, I just don't seem to lock in on one particular bait real well. Just kind of got to mix it up.
What kind of crankbait is that?
It's gonna be a day.
Don't gotta measure this one though.
Well, I got him.
Boom, 5-pounder.
What do you throw back at them?
Huh?
What do you throw back at them? A Cinco or?
That's actually a 10-inch worm. That's the only bottom bait I got on. But yeah, usually I'll have a Cinco or a fluke or something like that.
Number 2.
I have a trailer hook on it, but I don't have it. I win it and kind of blanked. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Keeper. You catch 10, 12 inches all day, these look big.
You think that this front that came in is going to mess a lot of people up from practice?
You know, I'm not sure. Seems like we've been having a little bit cooler weather lately, and the bite picked up for the past 2 weeks for sure. Yeah, I don't know why this bluff wall is really overlooked. And you saw it. It produced real quick for me.
It did.
Moving on up.
do stumble across a big one. We might make it.
Fish.
Not gonna help anyone. Hey, mine. By a little bit.
It is right there. 5. If I can get in the boat. Stay down. I should put him in the big side.
Yeah, man.
Bagging Rights presented by Motion Fishing Company. Hand-tied jigs, soft plastics, and hard baits. Ozark Mountain Popcorn located in Springfield, Missouri. Tag Fishing. Get money for fishing. Crank Wraps. Match your lures to the forage the bass are feeding on with crank wraps. Float Trip Pickles. Cal Coast Fishing. Coaling system, tackle management, rod storage, and more. Go to calcoastfishing.com.
How'd you catch them?
Over that lake water, not near as cold as this one. There you go. Bottom wheel is.
How'd you catch them, Andrew?
On that old buzz toad. Buzz chicken and big worm.
You catch them all day long?
Yeah. I got on the merry-go-round, went up the palm, took a turn. He's getting line. You go around.
You still caught them, huh?
Yeah.
Good job. You catch them on that same jig that me and Pierce fish?
Yeah, that buzzbait.
Catch them all day, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Shallow.
What part of the arm did you go to?
Went way up the Pomme River.
You see them schooling up there like trout?
No, it's you got a lot of gar doing that up there.
You catch on black and blue?
Yeah, I'm in a black buzzbait.
What size is that jig that you catch them on?
1/2 ounce. For the most part, it's pretty much my go-to. But throw a 3/8 and a 3/4 too. Now that summer's hot, you can throw that 3/4. Kind of create some reaction strikes.
Yeah.
But pretty much 1/2 ounce.
You got 5?
Yeah. 5.
Palmy?
5 babies. But I don't know. I've been getting a few big bites in practice, so I thought, you know, I'd leave an area after I got a big bite. But it just didn't work out. I got bites in those areas, but the big ones are gone.
You move around a lot?
I fished all the way up Lindley this morning, and then I went 14 miles or so up Pomme this morning. I stayed mostly in the rivers, but this afternoon I tried out deep to see if I could get a deep bite going for a couple hours, and just had one short fish doing that, so I went back up the other river. Oh well, it just didn't work out. I probably screwed up. I was getting better bites up the Pomme, but I wasn't getting as many, so I figured I'd play it safe, and I was pretty sure I could get a limit up in Lindley, and probably should have went up Pomme this morning.
Did you catch them toads on there?
Square bill.
Oh, wait.
Didn't you have big bass last time?
Yeah. Well, it's not 30 keepers.
30 keepers?
Good day. Really?
Way up the river? Or
Yeah, you couldn't run no further.
Really?
I got some pretty cool pictures.
Did you find this pattern in practice, or?
Man, I've fished up there before, and I went up there Thursday. We had about 18, 19 pounds, so I just kind of left them alone and filled up with gas and went. Most of them were, I lost 3 good ones, you know, that were 4 plus. Kind of sucks, but what do you do, you know? All on a 2.5 white crappie.
Yeah. You fish your crankbait fast? You fish it fast?
Yeah, I do.
Is there a cadence you like? You know, fast stop?
You know, fast pause, jerk the reel a little bit. I want that bait, you know, moving around a lot, you know. But it was good, just made a lot of mistakes up there. A lot of mistakes. I threw away a 20-pound bag easy. It was on fire this morning, but you know, it is what it is, dude. It's fishing.
Yeah.
You know, so.
The last one I got. It's a good one.
What'd you catch him on?
Big worm.
Deep?
Huh?
Deep?
10 foot. So, I don't know. I don't know if you call that deep or not.
And what'd you catch him on?
Jig.
In particular color?
I have no idea what you call it, but it's right there.
Kind of green pumpkin?
I guess.
You know, shallow, or did you catch them shallow?
Super shallow.
Super shallow. You figure a pattern out, or was it basically just?
Nah, I got lucky the last 30 minutes. I pulled into a spot and caught 3 keepers, only got 4.
Well, at least you got 4, and that's a good one. All the rest of them look like that?
Nah, all the rest of them look like Pomme keepers. I lost probably 3 keepers right at the rail, and she lost probably 4 keepers just halfway to the boat, just came off.
Did you run up the Pomme side?
I went
Nemo?
7 miles into Lindley, then I turned around and went to 83 in Pomme, and then turned around and ran back to 7 miles in Lindley.
You ain't got no gas left.
No, I'm empty.
Deep cranking, man.
Deep cranking. Pockets, main leg?
Points of wind. That and drop shotting around docks and little cuts.
You fish flats at all, or did it have rock on it?
I did not.
4.44, 4.44, big bass.
You catch them all day long?
Yeah.
Well, how'd the new Skeeter run?
New Skeeter ran great.
97.
3 shorts on that one of Jimmy Head's spots.
What'd he come on?
DT 16.
Was you nervous catching him?
I'll be honest with you, I thought I had a muskie on. He went under the boat, he went around, I had him hooked in the side.
Flipping shallow? We throwing shallow?
Deep.
Deep stuff? You catch them all day, or?
Pretty much. Short. Had to put about 3 on the board.
Yeah.
One of them days.
Yeah. Better in the morning, or didn't matter?
I didn't have my first fish till about 9:30. But between 9:30 and 1:30, catching fish.
Any particular lure you were using today? And
shaky head and a Cinco.
Any color?
Green pumpkin. Well, it's going 2 different colors. Green pumpkin magic and green pumpkin purple green.
My name's Scott Emmert. Finished first here on Pomme De Terre Lake, and I almost ran out of gas. I ran everywhere. I ran a lot of stuff. Fished mostly main lake, throwing a buzzbait all day. Had to make multiple casts. It's a buzzbait that I've made for 30 years and still works today, so that's pretty much, that's all I caught my fish on. Just kept throwing it all day long.
On bluff type channel banks?
No, just flats. Flat main lake banks, you know. And some fish were on wood. Most of the fish were in less than 8 inches of water. I mean, they were shallow. And they just, you know, you had to fish a lot of water, cover a lot of ground, and I just ran all day long.
Now, does color make a difference on buzzbait with you, or do you have a black one?
I throw white. That's it.
That's it.
That's all I throw.
You don't get anything special with the blade?
Nope. Nope. White. White blade, white skirt. That's it.
You use a certain size?
It's a 3/8 ounce. It's just it's kind of a finessey buzzbait. Like I said, I've made it for 30 years now, and it's the only one I throw, and I can make up a dozen in about 15 minutes, and I'll throw probably 50 a year and wear them out. So
now, some people put a trailer hook on them. Do you?
No trailer hook. No, I put a trailer on it, but no trailer hook. Doesn't really seem to matter to me. I mean, you can't, with the trailer, I just throw a curly tail trailer, and you know, you can't throw a trailer hook with it because it'll get hung in the hook. So, but you know, you lose some fish because of it, I think, you know, but I pitch it, flip it. You know, I don't just cast and reel and go down the bank. If I find a spot that I'm like, okay, I think there's a fish there, I might throw 50 or 60 casts at it, you know. And you know, I set on one little place today that was just one stump, and I've caught multiple fish there over the past 30 years, and I just know that there's always a fish there, and I threw probably 30 casts a day, and then I caught the biggest one I had today, a 4-pounder off of that stump. And you know, sometimes it's just a matter of, you know, I think a lot of times the fish get out on the flats and they roam. I don't just throw at the cover, you know, just 2 foot from it or whatever. You know, I'll throw, you know, 20 or 30 feet past it, because a lot of times I think those fish are roaming on those flats, and then you draw them to the cover, and then when they get set up and ready to eat, that's why it takes that many casts, because you pull them to that cover, and they won't eat it out here when they're just rolling under the shad. You know, they got to move to ambush it, so you move them to the cover. I mean, you know, try to throw at every angle you can, and you move them to the cover, and when they're ready to eat it, they'll eat it.
But did you go back to if you caught one there?
I caught
several fish off the same spots. I had 6 main spots, and I fished a lot of other water, but I fished 6 main spots, and I kept going back to them, and you'd catch one, and it'd be a dink or not help me or nothing, but those fish would reload. They'd keep, as long as the wind was blowing, as long as the shad kept moving, they just reload. And
when do you stop throwing a buzzbait if the wind gets way too choppy, or
when do I stop throwing a buzzbait? Yeah. Never.
Doesn't matter if the wind gets a little bit
more than no, never. You just ride the waves. I mean, there's times that it gets, you think that it's going to be too windy, but I just keep throwing it. They'll eat it. They can hear it. They can feel it. It's just like any other bait. I mean, as long as it's vibrating and making some kind of noise, they know it's there.
Good. Now, do you ever have any blow up and you throw a worm or a grub or something and catch any?
I got 1 rod in my boat. That's the only rod I got in the boat.
That's easy.
So I got 1 box, 1 rod.
Now,
and
when does that buzzbait stop? Like, is it
50-degree water? When the water temperature drops below 50, and you can still catch them, after that period when the water temperature comes back up, but it seems like 50 degrees is the cutoff point. Once it gets to 50 and goes below 50, and even if it comes back up, you can still catch a few, but you don't catch the fish like you do, before it, falls off, in 50 degrees or whatever. But that's my cutoff point. Once it reaches 50 degrees, I'll still throw it, but then it seems like the fish go from looking up to looking down, and they'd rather have a wiggle wart or, a rig or something else besides a buzzbait.
Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Time of the year, it sounds like.
It is my time of the year, and it's just going to get better from here on out.
Good job, bud.
My name is Ed Phillips. I got 2nd place in the Pomme De Terre Solo Pro Series here in August.
Well, what'd you do today? What was did you on a pattern or?
No, actually I've been working every day, so I didn't get a chance to practice. So I really come up here, I was going to rely on history, what I've done here in the past, and my plan was to throw a crankbait early for the first couple hours, and then when that sun got up, I was going to go fish some brush piles. But when we got here, we had heavy cloud cover, and Russ got it out early this morning, so I changed my plan a little bit, and I started throwing a little bit of topwater buzzbait, and I started catching immediately. In fact, I think I had my first keeper on the 2nd cast today. And then I caught a limit on it, and about 9 o'clock they quit that buzzbait for me, and I picked up that crankbait, and that's when I caught the big fish, the 6-pounder. Went about another 30 minutes and lost another one, about 5 pounds on that crankbait. And then about noon, couldn't get another bite on it. And about 12:30, I come back down lake down here, started fishing brush piles and catching keepers down here. But I already had the fish I weighed in the live well, and everything I caught down here was smaller. So that was kind of my day. I just kind of.
Any particular, was you going back of pockets, or did you find them?
Those buzzbait fish, the boat was sitting in 3 foot and I was throwing towards the bank. I mean, they were up there in real shallow water, and which kind of surprised me. But the first fish I caught was in a real shallow pocket off a bluff end, and I had really moved up there to fish that bluff end. I threw in that shallow pocket and caught that first fish, and that kind of told me those fish were shallower than what I thought they were going to be. So then I started running that shallow water up until about 9 o'clock, and
you think they pulled out a little bit after that?
Yeah, I think they had. Yeah. Those crankbait fish I caught about 10 o'clock, they were about 4 to 5 foot of water.
Any particular crankbait that you like?
I like the square bills, the KVD square bills in various colors. And then after that quit, then I started hitting 12, 14 foot brush piles. And
you just followed them from the bank?
Basically, that's what I did, yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Chad DEAVER, 3rd place, Pomme De Terre Lake. It's been a heck of an event. This is our last event of this year. Ran way up the Pomme River. Caught mainly everything on a 2.5 square bill wrapped in a black crappie from Crane Craps. And then I caught maybe 20 keepers on an Omega swim jig. And that was pretty much the extent. We went to about 50 keepers, and it was a fun day. Lost some big ones and, you know, just part of the game, but it was a fun day. Went through a lot of keepers and a lot of fish.
Now, do you do anything special with that crankbait? Like any cadence that you like? Or?
Yeah, you know, when you get up there, you're, you know, the fish today moved to the mud banks, the clay banks up there, and they got on that timber, all that shoreline timber up there. So, you know, I was just, I was crashing into anything I could get my hands on. Same thing with that swim jig. I'd flip it back there, and I was wanting to hit limbs with it and roll over, and you could, it was clear enough up there because you're only in a foot or two of water that you could see them come out, either grab the crankbait or that swim jig and you know, just choke it.
That certain type of banks that, you know, up there, I don't know.
So the first hour, I fished more rock banks, you know, or boulder banks up there. And then I didn't have a bite for an hour. And then immediately I moved to the clay side or the mud side. And I noticed that's where all the shad activity was. It was on the shallow side. So I knew that's where the fish were, and then just kept rolling water. There was 4 or 5 little sweet spots, stretches through there, you know, 100, 200 yards long that I could fish, and then I would go down the river a mile or a half mile, and there was another one, and just kind of hopped around.
When you fish up the river, do you come back to the same banks and just rotate them and rotate them?
I did. There was one bank. I fished up there in practice, and I had a good solid fish down that bank, and that's where I caught that 5-pounder. But I lost one up there probably around 4, so about 10:30, I whizzed back up the creek and go through there, which was good because I caught another, you know, 3-pounder and a couple more keepers, but just not another solid fish. But that was really the only thing I rotated all day.
Now, do you change your hooks a lot on crankbaits? Like
yeah, you know, the square bill I was throwing, I bet you I changed probably 10 times today. You know, I was using a light wire EWG treble hook, and yeah, I would just, you know, every hour I'd put all new hooks on.
Certain color on that swim jig that seemed to make it?
Just straight white. Yeah, just straight white, and it had the only trailer I could get bid on, I tried a couple different trailers. X-Zone makes a swammer, which is a soft swim bait, and I just put a white one on there, just straight white, and cranked it through everything I could see.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
again.
thank you.